there, welcome to Service Academy News, and let's get right into this one. How did an electrical engineering test from 1994 make national news in the fall of 2025? Let's get into this story because this is a good one. In 1994, there was an electrical engineering test issued at the United States Naval Academy. Somehow, that test got out before it was given to the midshipmen. Either it was stolen or it was left somewhere by one of the professors or instructors, or it was in a copy machine or whatever. It got out. It was circulated among the class, and those midshipmen who had the EE class that semester took the test, and that test hit 100%. Some of them came forward and said, look, we've seen this test already. This test has gotten out. Something's not right. We're letting you know because there's an honor concept. And this became one of the biggest scandals at any service academy ever. The 1994 electrical engineering test scandal at the United States Naval Academy. So why is this in the news in 2025? Well, the gubernatorial candidate, Mikie Sherrill, the Democrat, is a 1994 graduate of the United States Naval Academy. Her opponent is Jack Ciattarelli. He's a Republican. He's not involved in this, but he is in a little bit. So what happened with Mikie Sherrill? So now it hits the news that Mikie Sherrill, a 1994 U.S. Naval Academy graduate, a former helicopter pilot, Navy helicopter pilot, was involved in one of the biggest cheating scandals ever at any service academies. So let's just walk into this a little deeper. There was 120 to 100 midshipmen directly involved with that EE test. She was not one of them. She was not in the class. She was not taking EE. But why is she swept up in this scandal? Well, she would not reveal the names of her classmates who were involved in the scandal. It became a big witch hunt at the Naval Academy. Who was involved, who wasn't involved, and she was one of the people that they came to and they said, tell us who's involved, and she said, no, I am not ratting out on my classmates, I will not tell you who. So that would have been the end of the story. And I was going to record this video on Saturday. Today's Sunday. I was going to record this video yesterday, and that would have been the end of the story. And it would have gone on how these campaigns do, but it would have gone on. Well, you say to yourself, why didn't she reveal who was involved in this? Who knows? Well, now today on Sunday, there's articles out there that there was 30 to 50 midshipmen who lawyered up. They brought a suit against the Naval Academy, and they were exonerated of cheating. How that actually happened, don't know, don't have the records. But these people were allowed to graduate. Mikie Sherrill was not allowed to graduate. She did graduate from the Naval Academy. She did graduate from the Naval Academy on time, but she was not allowed to walk, and her name was not in the program. But one of the guys who sued the Naval Academy was this guy, Jason Hedberg. And Jason Hedberg won his suit against the Naval Academy, and he was allowed to have his name in the program, and he was allowed to walk. So why is Jason Hedberg so important? Well, it turns out that Jason Hedberg, Naval Academy class of 1984, and Mikie Sherrill, Naval Academy class of 1984, are husband and wife. So one can only speculate that they were involved when they were at the Naval Academy, and that she might have known something and she just wasn't going to say anything about Jason or other people, and life was going to go on for her. So Jason beat the rap. He walked. Mikie didn't beat the rap. She didn't cheat. She just didn't tell names, and she wasn't allowed to walk, and she didn't have her name in the program. A lot of questions there about what was right and what was wrong. So I know that many of you out there who watch this channel are not only interested about going to a service academy, but you are also service academy graduates or no service academy graduates. And for you folks, you know that there's two things that are very important to a Service Academy graduate. The first one is their ring. Their class ring is very important to a Service Academy graduate. The second thing is graduating. Graduating with your class, walking, having your parents, having your family, having your friends there to celebrate your accomplishment, because it is a big accomplishment. Now, Jason got to walk, he got to graduate, Mikey didn't. We're going to discuss this right now. Somebody put a Freedom of Information Act into the National Archives for Mikie Sherrill's military records to be released. And the National Archives complied with that Freedom of Information Act. But apparently they released too much information. They released financial data, they released social security numbers, addresses, they released everything that they shouldn't have released. Sherrill's people should have redacted the stuff. They should have read it. Obviously, people don't read anymore, so they just cut and pasted something out there, and they just continue this release of information that shouldn't be out there. So I guess the first question to ask, should Mikie Sherrill's military record have been released? I guess if you're running for a position like the governor of the state of New Jersey, and you have a National Guard or a quote-unquote militia under your command, yes, it probably should have been released. And I really don't have a problem with it. I'm sure she has a huge problem with it. I'm sure the opposition loves it. But I get it. They released it. They released too much. But I don't think that there's a problem with releasing the military record. But let's get into a couple of things here. Should she have been banned from graduation, and should she have been erased from the graduation ceremony? Well, there's a couple of thoughts here. The first one is that many of her classmates have come forward and they said that she did the right thing, that it was a witch hunt, that the senior leadership was going nuts at the time. They were looking to pin this on everybody and anybody, and she just stood her ground. She would not speak. She would not implicate her classmates. She just would not cooperate with them. And obviously, they were not happy with that, and they punished her. The second thought is, and I'll call it B, that was A, this is B, and I'm looking through a different lens. I'm not saying that I agree with this, just a different lens, is that if she turned a blind eye to this cheating scandal, what else would she turn a blind eye to? Would she turn a blind eye to somebody that's doing something unsafe aboard a ship or aircraft, or somebody who's being dishonest in the fleet? That's the question. I don't know. Only she knows in her heart what she would do. The third one, and I got this one from discussing this with Naval Academy graduates that I personally know, is that in the end, the Naval Academy was being petty. Why were they being so petty and so vengeful with her? She didn't cheat. She wasn't implicated in it. All that she did was she did not cooperate with them. Obviously, her future husband, Jason, and 50 of his classmates, her classmates also, lawyered up and they beat it. They beat the quote-unquote rap. They graduated, they moved on, nothing happened to them. So who did they hurt her. They personally hurt her. They took something away from her that was really precious, was her graduation ceremony, her parents, everybody coming down here to see her walk, to see her shake President Bill Clinton at the time, shake President Bill Clinton's hand, throw a hat in the air, and move on with her career. That is a very petty thing that the Naval Academy did. And I do agree with those graduates. They did change my mind. If it was so serious what she did as compared to the cheaters, why did they not delay her graduation? Why didn't they put her through some remediation? Why didn't they not set her back a year? Why didn't they just throw her out? No, they choose to hurt her and her family. That's my opinion, and it's my opinion that I got from Naval Academy graduates. So you take your choice. You go with the classmates that said, hey, you know, she did the right thing, she stood with us. Or no, she didn't, she should have said something, because if you don't say something now, you say something later. And maybe the Naval Academy, C, was really the bad guy in all of this. Every year when I do the Service Academy nomination interviews, I'm the one that usually asks the honor question. And the question usually goes something like this. Your roommate is taking a test. He's not doing well, she's not doing well, and she cheats, he cheats. What do you do? What do you say? What do you do? Well, this year, I don't have to come up with a scenario because the scenario is in the national headlines. It's already written for me. I just got to change the names to protect the innocent, and I got my question already written for me. So that's all I got for Service Academy News. I really want to hear your comments below on what you think about this. Now, I know there's Democrats and Republicans and all the political stuff like that. I don't want to know the political stuff. I don't want to know that, Trump's a bad guy, the Democrats are nuts. I don't want to know any of that. I want to know your opinion about the facts of this case that you know about her not giving up her classmates, that one of her classmates was her husband, that she was severely punished, and those who were accused of cheating, 50 of them who were accused of cheating, weren't. So let me have your comments. Thank you for watching. Bye now.